Hello and welcome to In Fair Zoom. We are starting now. We are so excited for everyone who's turned up. In fact, we're actually finally reading this. So thank you and enjoy the show. And over to the cast now.
Two households, both alike in dignity.
In fair Verona, where we lay our scene.
From ancient grudge break to new mutiny.
Where civil blood makes civil hands unclean.
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life.
Whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife.
Fearful passage of their death-marked love.
Continuance of their parents' rage.
Which but their children's end naught could remove.
Is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage.
The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals.
No, for then we should be couriers.
I mean, and we be in choler, we draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
This showed thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall, and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrels between our masters and us men, and their men.
'Tis all one, I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids.
I the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in with what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John, drawn thy tool. Here comes of the house of Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as a good of man as you.
No better?
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men, Gregory, remember the washing blow.
Part, fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What, art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage to part these men with it.
Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward.
What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho.
A crutch, why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say, old Montagues come and flourish his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain Capulet, hold me not, let me go.
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor's tainted steel. Will they not hear? What ho you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins? On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If you ever disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon, to know our farther pleasure in this case. To old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance in my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who, nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. While we're interchanging thrusts and blows, came more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came who parted either part.
Where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window in the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore, and westward rooteth from this city side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, which then most sought where most might not be found, being one too many by my weary self, pursued my honor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning stew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs, but also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chambers pens himself, shut up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends, but he, his own affections' counselor, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with an envious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the same. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madame, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But noob struck 9.
Ay me, sad owls seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor, where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we die? Oh me, what fray was he all? Yet tell me not, for I have hold it all. He was much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing false create, oh heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I rather weep.
Good hold at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of my own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed. With more of thine, this love that hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo, there's some other whale.
Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love?
What, shall I groan and tell thee?
Grown? Why, no. But sadly tell me who.
A sick man in sadness makes his will, a word ill-urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, coz, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good milkman, and she's fair I love.
Her right fair mark, fair coz, is soonest hit.
Well, and in that hit you miss, she'll not be a hit with Cupid's arrow, she hath Diane's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's weak childish bows she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies, the beauty dies her soul.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste?
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste, for beauty starved with her severity, it cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me, forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call halls exquisite, and question more these happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows. Being black puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty may serve as a note, where I may read who passed that passing fair. Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike. It is not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
The saying over what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, her happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agreed, within her scope of choice, lies my consent in fair according voice. This night I hold an accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more, most welcome, make my number more. At my poor house, look to behold this night, earth treading stars that make dark heaven light, such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well apparelled, April on the hill, of limping winter treads, even such delight. Among fresh fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house, here I'll see, and like her most, whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand with number, though reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons on out, whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome are their pleasures stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find the person those persons whose names here are writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned in good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning, one pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy, be helped by backward turning. One desperate grief cures another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For a broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is, shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented. And good evening, good fellow.
God good Eden, I pray, sir. Can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it with a book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly, rest you merry.
Say, fellow, I can read. Signor Martinino and his wife and daughters, County Anselme and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Voltriovo, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet and his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, and Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousins Tybalt, Lucio, and the lively Helena. Fair assembly, whither shall they come?
Up.
Whither, to supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now, I'll tell you without asking, my master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At this same ancient feast of Capulets, sups that the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona, go thither, and with unattained eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehood, then turns tears to fire, and those who often drown but could never die, transparent heroics be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love? The all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where is my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenheaded 12-year-old I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where's this girl? What Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madame, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give us leave while we must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again, I remember now. Thou hearest our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter is of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen it be spoken I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it now to Lammastide?
A fortnight in all days.
Even or odd of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God, she was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Mary, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned, I never shall forget it, of all the days of the year upon that day. For I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun and under the dove-house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain, but as he said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and to fall out with the dug. Shake, quoth the dove-house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time is it 11 years, for then she could stand high lone, nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holidam, the pretty wretch left crying and said, I, to see now
Enough
how
of
it
this.
shall come about.
I pray thee, hold thy peace.
1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool, it stinted and said, I.
I have Lady Capulet here.
No, it's Juliet.
There was more, but now it's you, and then it's Juliet. But I'm done now, so you can go.
Do you want me to just go? And since thou do I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Sorry, there was like 2 sections of thing, and she says the same thing twice. Okay. So we got confused. Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Mary, that Mary is the very thing I come to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honour that I dream not of.
An honor, were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou had sucked the wisdom from thy teeth.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are already made mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant parent seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at the feast. Read over the volume of young Paris's face, and find the light there in beauty's pen. Examine every merry ligament, and see how one leads another to content. What obscures in the fair volume lies, written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only, that's a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, for fair without the fair within to hide. The books in many eyes doth share the glory, then golden laps locks in the golden story. So shall you have all that he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less.
No less. Nay, bigger, women grow by men.
Speak briefly, can you like of Paris's love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more do pulling dart to mine eye and your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up, you called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the count stays.
Go, girls, seek happy nights to happy days.
What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we go on without apology?
The date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of laugh, scaring the ladies like a crow keeper, nor without book prolong. Faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance, but let them measure us by what they will, we'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling, but heavy I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead. So stakes me to the ground, I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sole impulsed with his shaft, to soar with his light feathers and so bound. I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe, under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink it in should you burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I, what curious eye doth coat deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverbied with a grand short phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was nailed so fair, and I'm done.
Tut, done's the mouse, the constable's own sword. Own word, if thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire, or save your reverence love, wherein thou stickest up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, ho.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay we waste our lights, in vain lights by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that ere once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In beds asleep, they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairies' midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone, on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomi over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinners' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner a small grey-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. Time out of mind the fairies' coachmakers, and in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love on courtiers' knees, that dream on curses straight, o'er lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, o'er ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometime comes she with a tithe pig's tail, then he dreams tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she drives over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she who...
Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and, being angered, puffs away from thence, turning his side to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives, some consequence yet hanging in the stalls. Shall bitterly begin this his fearful date with this night's revels and expire the tome of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he hath the steerage of my course. Direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike, Jum.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. Ah, my mistresses, which of you will now deny to dance? She makes that dainty, she elsewhere hath corns. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please, 'tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hall, give room, and foot it, girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up. Quench the fire, the room is grown too hot. Sirrah, the unlocked for sport comes well.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. She shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady all her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, in touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love until now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What, dares this slave come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? And by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all this town, here in my house, do him disparagement. Therefore, be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns, and now the seeming semblance for a feast.
If it's not when such a villain is a guest, I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What a good man, boy. I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here, or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You'll set a cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You are a saucy boy, is it so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. You're a princox. Go be quiet, or more light for shame. I'll make you quiet, but surely my heart's.
Patience perforce with willful choler meaning makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmels too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by thine my sin is purged.
Then have my lips for sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Mary Bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and a virtuous. I nursed your daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is in my foe's debt.
Away, begone, the sport is at the best.
Aye, so I feel, the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone when we have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Is it and so? Why, then I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on then, let's to bed. Ah, sirrah, by my faith, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Good heaviness, what is yon gentleman?
The heir and son of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
Marry, that I think be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows here that would not dance?
I know not.
Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown and known too late. Such despair of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
Have I my land even now of when I danced withal?
Juliet!
Anon, anon, come, let's away, the strangers are all gone.
Now old Desire doth in his deathbed lie.
And young affection leaps to be his heir.
That fair for which love groaned for and would die, with tender Juliet matched, is now not fair.
Now Romeo is loved and beloves again, alike bewitched by charm of looks.
But to his foe supposed he must complain.
And she steals love's sweet bane from fearful hooks.
Being held a foe, he may not have access.
Breathe such vows as lovers use to swear.
And she is much in love, her means much less to meet her new beloved anywhere.
But passion lends them power, time means to meet.
Tempering extremities with extreme sweet. Can I go forward when my halt is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo! Romeo!
He is wise, and on my life has stolen from him home to bed.
He ran this way and left this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo, humours, madman, passion, lover, appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair word, one nickname for her purblind son and heir, young Abraham Cupid, he that shot so trim, when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the demesne that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress's circle of some strange nature, letting it stand there till she had laid it and conjured it down. That was some spite. My invocation is fair and honest. In his mistress' name I conjure only but to raise up him.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars, and they laugh alone? Oh, Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were an open arse, thou a poprin pear. Romeo, good night, I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jests at skulls that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off, cast it off! It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she will. She speaks, but she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks, two of the fairest souls in all the heavens. Having some business do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those souls. As daylight doth the lamp her eyes in heaven, would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I may touch that cheek.
Me.
Oh, she speaks! Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of the heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the ale.
Oh, Romeo! Romeo! Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn, my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is no hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would. Were he not Romeo called, but him a dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it's an enemy to thee. Had I had it written, I would tell the world.
Is not yet 100 words of thy tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo? And a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The arched walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find me here.
With love's light wings did I o'erapproach those walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, but thou love me. Let them find me here, my life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love that Fulst did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wilt thou as far as the vast shore washed with the fall of the sea, I should adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest a mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush for paint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, thinking, deny what I spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest thou mayst prove false, that love is perjury, they say, Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully, or if thou thinkst I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for a world. In truth, fair Montague, I think I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have been more coying to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst if I was where, my true love passion. Therefore pardon me and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night have so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow, that tips with silver all the fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, which monthly changes in a circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my adultery, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. 'Tis too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. Too like the lightning which doth cease to be, one can say it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to my heart as that within my breast.
Oh, will thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again, and yet I wish but for a thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within, dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true, stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night! I am afield being in night. All this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
Free words, dear Romeo, and good night, indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform right, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon, but if thou meanest no well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease my strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist! Oh, Falconer's voice to lose this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound levels tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo.
My dear.
What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 year till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand, like poor prisoner's twisted gyves, and with a silken thread plucks it back again, so loving, jealous of his liberty.
I would I were that bold.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, parting is such sweet sorrow, but I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep well upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I will sleep in peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly files close cell, his help to crave and my dear hap to tell.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and fleckled darkness like a drunkard reels from forth day's path and Titan's fiery wheels. Now ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that nature's mother is her tomb, what is her burying grave that is her womb? And from her womb children of divers kind, we sucking on her natural bosom find, many for many virtues excellent, none but for some and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For not so vile on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give, nor aught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from to birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometime by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this being smelt with that part, cheers each part. Being tasted, stays all senses with the heart. To such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, father.
Benedicite. What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where bruised youth, unstuffed brain, doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliest doth me assure, thou art upbruised with some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit it right, our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true, the sweet old rest was mine.
Good pardon sin, wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name, and thy name's woe.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, whereon a sudden one hath wounded me. That's by me wounded. Both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise stands my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my whole steel love is set on the fair daughter of which Capulet, and mine on Hull's. So Hull's is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine, by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today?
Holy Saint Francis, what change is here? Is Rosaline that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies, not truly in their heart, but in their eyes. Just Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline! To season love, that of it doth not taste, the sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans yet ringing in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If ere thou wast thyself, and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed, pronounce the sentence then, woman may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline,
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
and badst me bury love.
Not in a grave, to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Hold I love now. Doth grace for grace and love for love allow? The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well, thy love did read by rote, that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance so happy prove, to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
Why, that same pale heart-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master. How he dares being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the air with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind bow boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than prince of cats. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his minim rests, 1, 2, and the third in your bosom, the very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house of the first and second cause. I, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
The what?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting phantasmines. These new tuners of accent. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why is this not a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should thus be afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardon me's who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on the old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones!
Here comes Romeo, here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Oh, flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Now, is he for that Petrarch flowed in? Laura to his lady was a kitchen wench. Marry, she had a better love to berhyme her. Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra a gypsy, Helen and Hero hildings and harlots. This be a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Well, good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Hold in, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to courtesy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous explanation.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Sure wit, follow me this jest now, till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain, after the wearing, solely singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faints.
Switch and spulls all cry a match.
Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done, for thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose?
Thou wouldst never with me for anything when thou wouldst not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good news, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting, it is a most sharp sauce.
And is it not then well solved into a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of Chevreul that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which, added to the goose, proves thee full and wide a broad goose.
Why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo, now art thou what thou art, as by nature. For this drivelling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there, stop there.
Thou desirest me to stop in my tale against the hair.
Thou wouldst else have made thy tale large.
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly Gale, a sail, a sail.
Two, a shirt and a smock.
Peter.
Anon.
My fan, Peter.
Good Peter to hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
God you good morrow, gentlemen.
God you good e'en, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good e'en?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man are you!
One gentlewoman that God hath made himself tomorrow.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself tomorrow, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I'm the youngest of that name, for fault of a waltz.
You say well.
Yeah, is the worst well? You very well took, in faith, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Aboard, so ho.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. An old hair whore and an old hair whore is very good meat in Lent, but a hair that is whore is too much for a score when it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? We'll to dinner thither.
I'll follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady, farewell, lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, Nulse, that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I shall find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you at his pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man. If I see occasion, a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Now, fore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell you, if you should lead her into fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nulse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and of faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, Nulse? Thou dost not mock me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall, at Firelorn to sell, be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good Nulse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be there with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled sail, which to the high topgallant of my joy must be the convoy to the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to my mistress.
Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear Nulse?
Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel putting one away?
Won't thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, Lord, when she was a little prating thing. Oh, there is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the properer man, but I'll warrant you when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter?
Aye, Nulse, what of that, both with an all?
Ah, Mocker, that's the dog's name. R is for the... No, I know it begins with some other letter, and she hath the prettiest sententious, that's a weird word, of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to my lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter.
Anon.
Before and apace.
The clock struck 9 when I did send for nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance you cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be fought with 10 times faster glides in the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swept Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey. From 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks many favours they were dead, and the wheels lay slow, heavy and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Oh, holiness, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good sweet nurse. Oh Lord, why lookest thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily, if good, thou shamest music of sweet news like playing it with such sour face.
I am aweary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I.
I would thou hadst my bones and I thy news. Now come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste! Can thou not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath, or thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench. Serve God. What, have thou dined at home?
No, but all of this I did know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches! What a head have I! It beats and it would fall in 20 pieces. My back out to the other side. My back! Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
Oh, in faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse. Tell me what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this a poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Oh, he is such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way to fetch a ladder by which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner, hie you to the cell.
High fortune, honestness, farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in whole sight. Do thou but close all hands with holy walls, then love-devouring death do what he dare, it is enough that I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady, oh, so light of foot, will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamers that idle in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall so light in vanity.
But even to my ghostly confessor,
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
is much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, then that thy skill be more to blaze in it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive it in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the capels are abroad, and if we shall not escape a brawl, for now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of these fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
And there were two such. We should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? With another for tying his new shoes with old ribbon? And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarrelling.
And were I so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple, oh simple.
Oh, by my head, here comes the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I shall speak to them. Gentlemen, get in. A word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort? What dost thou make us, minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick, here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort!
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, gentlemen. Here is my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before to field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo, the love that I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain, am I none. Therefore, farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me, therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise. Till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own. Be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Alas, Torchato carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I may mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
Drop Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame farewell this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbid this bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, con Mercutio.
I am hurt. A plague of both houses. I am sped. Is he gone, and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch. Marry, 'tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague of both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal halt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's scandal. Tybalt that an owl hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temple softened battle steel.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo. Brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on what days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive and triumphant Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take thy villain back again. Too loud thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads. Staying for thine to keep him company, Either thou or I or both must go with him.
The wretched boy that didst consort him here shall with him hence!
This shall determine that.
Romeo, away! Begone! The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, begone! Away!
Oh, I am Fulton's fool!
Why dost thou stay?
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Oh, noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky manager of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Oh, my cousin, oh, my brother's child, oh, prince, oh, cousin, husband, oh, the blood is spelled of my dear kinsman, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed the blood of Montague. Cousin.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace. But he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who, all is hot, turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue. His agile arm beats their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt at the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw them apart was stout Tybalt slain, and as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 again fought in this black strife, and some 20 of them can only take but one life. I beg with justice, which you, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince, he was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hearts proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding, but I'll immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. No tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses, therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers concede to do the amorous rites, by their own beauties, while love be blind to best agrees of night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hurt my unmanned blood beating in my cheeks with thy black mantle till Strange love grow bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come Romeo, come thou day and night. For thou will lie upon the wings of night, white of a new snow upon a raven's back. Come, gentle night. Come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. And he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. I have bought the mansion of love and not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is the stay as the night before some festival. To an impatient child that have new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid me fetch.
Aye, the cords.
I mean, what news? Why dost thou wring my hands?
Where a day, he's dead. He's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day, he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, whoever would have thought it? Romeo.
What devil art thou that doth torment me thus? This torture should be wrought in dismal hell. If Romeo slain himself, say thou, but I, and that bare foul eye shall poison more than the death darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye. Or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A piteous course, a bloody piteous course. Pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Oh, break my heart, poor bankroll, break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth to earth resign end motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin, and my dear lord. That dreadful trumpet sound for general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alas the day it did.
Oh serpent heart hint with a flowering face! Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-vapid raven, wolfish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemest. A damned saint and honourable villain! Oh nature, what hadst thou to do in hell? When thou didst bow the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that does it should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Ah, where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
There be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame, upon his brown shame is ashamed to sit. That is the throne where honour may be crowned, sole monarch of universal earth. Oh, what a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, my poor lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops blood to woe when you mistaken offer to joy. My husband lives. That Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then. Some word there was worse than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget fame, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That one word banished have slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough, have it ended there. Or if so, woe delights in fellowship, and neatly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followed not when she said Tybalt dead? Thy farm, or thy mother, or I, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved, but with a reward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can more sound. Where is my father, my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corpse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds of tears. Mine shall be spent when there's a dreadful Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords. For ropes you are beguiled. Both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, and but I for die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse. I'll to my wedding bed, and death not Romeo shall take my maidenhead.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark you, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him, he's at Lawrence's cell.
Find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him to come take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I know yet not?
Too familiar is my dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips, not body's death, but body's banishment.
Banishment? Be merciful and just say death! For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Here from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence, banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished, it is death mistomed. Calling death banished, thou cuts my head off with a golden axe, and smile upon the stroke that mortals me.
Deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kisses is sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And thou sayest thou yet exile is not death? Hadst no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden means of death, thought nails so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished? Oh, fire! That damned use of the world in hell, howling attends it. How hast thou the heart being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend, profess to mangle me with that word banished?
Thou fond madman, hear me a little speak.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity, sweet milk, philosophy. to comfort thee, thou art banished.
Yet banished! Hang up philosophy! Useless philosophy can make a Juliet displant a town and revulse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, that when wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak that thou does not feel. Wilt thou, as young as I, Juliet thy love, an owl but maylead? Tybalt molded, doting like me and like me banished. Then thou might speak, then thou mightst tail thy hail and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise, one knocks. Good Romeo, hide thyself.
Not I, unless the breath of Holt's groans mist-like enfold me from the search of eyes.
Hark, how they knock! Who's there? Romeo, arise! Thou wilt be taken, stay a while, stand up. Run to my study, by and by, God's will. What simpleness is this? I come, I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Oh, holy friar, oh, tell me, holy friar, where's my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress' case, just in her case. A woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an oh?
Nulse.
Ah, sir, death's the end of all.
Speak'st thou of Juliet? How is it withal? Does she not think me an old mortal, now that I have stained the childhood of all joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did mortal her, as that name's calls at hand, mortal her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thy art. Thy tears are womanish, thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast, unseemly woman in a seeming man, and ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself and slay thy lady that in thy life lives? By doing damned hate upon thyself, why railest thou on thy birth, the heaven and earth? Since birth and heaven and earth all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldest lose. Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which like a usurer aboundest in all, and usest none in that true use indeed. Which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man. Thy dear love sworn but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skilless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance. And thou dismembered with thine own defense. What roused thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou pouts upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go and get thee to thy love. As was decreed, ascend her chamber, hence and comfort her. But look thou stay, not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 200,000 times more joy than thou wentst forth in lamentation. Go before nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
Here, sir, a ring she bade me give you, sir. Hie you, make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence, sojourn to Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand, 'tis late. Farewell, good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It will grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move her daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late, she'll not come down tonight, I promise you, but for your company I would have been abed an hour ago.
These times will afford no times to woo. Madame, good night, commend me to your daughter.
I will, and I know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I'll make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay more, I doubt it not. Well, if you go to her ere you go to bed, acquaint her here of my son's Paris love, and bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Well, Wednesday is too soon. Oh, Thursday let it be. Oh, Thursday tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado. A friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, if it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman. If we revel much, therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
We'll get you gone, oh Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed, prepare her wife against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord, like to my chamber ho, and for me is very late that we may call it early, by and by. Good night.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yond light is not daylight, I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhaled to be to thee this night a torch bearer and lighting on my way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be taken, let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heavens so high above our heads. I have more cale to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk, it is not day.
Oh, it is. High heads be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth no so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and toad changed eyes. Now I would they have changed voices too. Since arm from that arm the voice does affray, hunting the hens from hunts up to the day. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam,
Nurse?
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell, farewell, one kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, thy husband, friend. I must hear from thee every day and the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count, I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell, I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall solve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now art so low as one dead at the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails or thou lookst pale.
And trust me, love, in my eye so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou of him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, fortune, for then I hope thou will not keep him long, but send him back.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
Who is it that calls? 'Tis my lady mother. Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madame, I am not well.
Evermore weeping your cousin's death. What will wash from his grave with tears? If thou couldst not make him live, therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief still shows some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep for friend.
Well, girl, if thou weepest not much for his death, as the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madame?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the murderer, traitor, lives.
I, madame, from the reach of these my hands would none but I might avenge my cousin's death.
We have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more, I'll send one to Mantua, where that same banished renegade doth live. Shall give him such a constant drum, and shall give soon Tybalt company. Then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed? Madame, if you could but find out a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named and cannot come to him to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon his body that have slaughtered him.
Find them the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, beseech your ladyship?
Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who to put thee from thy heaviness has sorted out his sun and day of joy. Thou expects not, nor I look not for.
Madame, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant young and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Peter's Church, shall make you there a happy bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder if it takes when I must wed, ere that he my husband, to be my husband comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madame, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, who I know you hate, rather than Paris. Is news indeed?
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how you take it from your hands.
When the sun sets, the earth doth drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. How now, conduit girl, what still in tears ever showering? In one little body, thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind, for still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb flow of tears. The bark, thy body is, sailing in the salt flood, and the wind thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them without a sudden calm will overset the tempted tossed body. How now, wife, have you delivered to her our decree?
I sure, but she will now none. She did these things, but I were the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed? Unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bride?
Not proud you have, but thankful, yeah, you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How, chopped logic, what is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress's minion you, thank me no thankings, no proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church. I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out you green sickness carry on, out you baggage, you tallow face.
Fie, what, are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you on my knees. Hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Young baggage, disobedient wretch, I tell thee what, get thee to a church o' Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but now I see this is one too much, and we have a curse in having her out on her hiding.
God in heaven bless her.
Lovely.
And why, my lady wisdom, hold your tongue, good prudence, matter with your gossips go.
I speak no treason.
Can we just pause a minute? Like,
okay. I was gonna cover
like
that.
Lou.
I just think it's good to wait a minute.
Sorry, I'm missing where we are. Sorry, I missed that I was supposed to be here.
No, it is fine. Don't worry.
So is that what the okay? Where are we?
Well, I downloaded a PDF of the script, so I don't know if it's accurate.
Give me lines.
It's like right after
your next line is God
you
in
are the
heaven
blind.
bless her.
Oh, I'm too far down. Hang on. Okay, yeah, there we go. God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady wisdom, hold your tongue, good prudence, matter with your gossips go.
I speak no treason.
Oh God, again.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool, utter your gravity over a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God, it takes mad day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone in company. Still my care hath been to have her match, and now having provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demesnes, youthful and nobly lined, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, portion as one thought would wish a man, and then after wretched pulling full, and whining maidment in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I'm too young, I pray you, pardon me. But and you, will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on my heart. Advise. And you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. And you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll never acknowledge thee. Now what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust, bethink it you, I'll not be forsworn.
Pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief. Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away, delay this marriage a month, a week. Or if you do not make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh God, oh yes, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband sent it to me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me, away, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfortness.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing, that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you, or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-cloud to him. Eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in the second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead, or 'twere as good he were, as living here and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell, to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which ye have praised him above compare so many thousand times? Go, counsellor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll try to know his remedy. If all else fails, myself have the power to die. And now we will have an intermission of 10 minutes. Thank you for listening and watching so far.